Hello, all you beautiful creatures. Welcome to my full moon in Libra tarot reading. I wanted to talk a little bit about the stars and what was going on in the sky, and then we can kind of get into our collective reading. So I have a couple of notes because I'm quite a forgetful person. So the full moon in Libra is happening tomorrow on April 7th, 2020. And I think that this full moon is going to be really healthy and pleasant for all of us. Libra energy is very much so needed right now. Finding that balance and the equilibrium within the collective would be really helpful for us to, really heal and have a little bit more understanding for each other and move forward. I think there's a lot of us hanging on to this 3D world that we have been moving away from. I've been talking a lot about the Earth's shift into the new Earth is what they're calling it in the spiritual community. I follow a lot of Dolores Cannon. She's a wonderful woman and she's incredible, and she has quite a few degrees in her area of expertise, and she's just astonishing. She's a pretty cool lady. I definitely recommend looking her up and watching her videos and listening to her talks. And we have just been, splitting from 3D into 4D and 5D realities, meaning a lot of people on this planet, as we move into the age of Aquarius, are starting to ascend and wake up and become enlightened, and that's why there's a huge call for people like myself, light workers and healers, to step up right now, especially to kind of help people navigate this new world that we're stepping into, because the 3D world is no longer. And if you're still hanging on to those things, it's just going to become more and more difficult for you. So 3D types of living, it's very much so rooted in like the 1930s to the 1950s, that think of the idea of marriage in general and, the American dream with the white picket fence and getting the job and buying the house and having the dog. That dream is no longer serving us. And the idea of the family unit, of having to get married and marriage being a pivotal life moment, is no longer serving us. And those kinds of restrictions, those kinds of boundaries, well, we're realizing now that they are restrictions and boundaries, and that those things are actually holding us back from love, from progression, from expansion. So keeping your mind grounded and weighed down with fear and what's happening on the television, and keeping yourself weighed down by things that aren't longer serving us is not going to help you ascend at all. And the world is going to get increasingly difficult and increasingly more scary for people who cannot let go of these old ways of living. And you can find this within yourself as well. Just things that you used to do, or patterns you have developed from trauma or your life experiences that are no longer helpful. Sometimes we develop trauma responses that we need in the moment, going through the trauma and healing from the trauma that we're healing from, but those responses aren't aren't meant to live your whole life. They're only meant to get you through those points in time. So if you can't let go of old restrictions and old boundaries within yourself, moving forward is going to be really challenging. I think the best way to navigate this energy is to really utilize this full moon in Libra to breathe, to center yourself, and to balance your own energy out as much as possible. So if you're feeling angry or scared or anxious or upset, that's your body telling you that something's not right and that you're not nurturing it in some kind of way. So, I think this Libra full moon will be really beneficial for those who've been experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety, because I think it'll help bring some equilibrium back to the whole stage. We also still have Mars conjuncting Saturn. We have Jupiter conjuncting Pluto in Capricorn right next to it, so we have quite a few conjunctions right now that really aren't helping the collective. Mars conjunct Saturn is very much so like, to me, that energy is very militant, very like, I think of like, I get the vision of like marching, and marching in a big unit, everyone's wearing the same uniform, everything's the same. So that kind of energy can be really beneficial in many ways with getting things done, getting jobs done, getting I don't know if you guys can hear that dog barking, but this poor dog has been barking literally for 12 hours. It barked all night, and I walked around the block to, with my dog, and kind of was like, I wonder where this dog is, and I don't know where he is, but he's just been barking for hours, so I'm really sorry if you can hear that. He is nervousing me a little bit, but I'll keep an eye out, or an ear out on the whole thing. But yeah, so sorry if you can hear that. So Mars hanging out with Saturn is not necessarily a pleasant energy. It is, like I said, it is good for getting things done and marching forward and, really getting into the grind, but it is very militant, and I keep getting the word dictatorship. There just might be a lot of restrictions and a lot more boundaries coming our way as far as society goes, which, if anyone else out there is an extrovert like myself, this has been very challenging for me to have this many social restrictions on myself. Because I want to go out and play, and I can't, so that kind of sucks. Then we have Jupiter with Pluto right in Capricorn, like right next to the Mars and Saturn in Aquarius. I forgot to mention that conjunction is happening in Aquarius. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction to me is the coronavirus. Like that very much so, like Pluto and Jupiter's just going to expand all of Pluto's energy, and Pluto is, he's the god of the underworld. He brings about sickness and, decay and the occult, and it just makes sense to me that with Jupiter and Pluto conjuncting, especially in Capricorn, where we have this sickness right now where there are so many restrictions and guidelines and things that we need to follow. Both of these energies just really coincide. I wanted to kind of get into some of the tarot. And, you know, the tarot has been really helpful throughout this whole thing, because with astrology is interesting. You can kind of see what's happening, and you can look into the past and see how these aspects and happenings have affected mankind in the past, and kind of like, you know, base things off of repetition in that way. But predicting the future is very vague with astrology. Whereas the tarot, I feel like, has been providing a much better insight. The astrology lately has been a lot about, like, restricting and stripping everything down to the bare minimum so that we can regrow from that, which is awesome, and that's great, and it's, you know, gonna be really good. I do really believe that coming out of this and heading into the 5D world, which will take like 30 some years or something like that. So we're right at the beginning of it. So this is a long endeavor we're going into. I do think that this is going to like end up looking really awesome. I think the changes that we will be making for society will be really beneficial for society as a whole. And I definitely see that in the stars, and I feel it as an intuitive person. I just feel it. So that is something that has been really keeping me sane, because it's easy to fall into fear, and it's easy to fall into anxiety, but really hanging on to my intuition on this whole thing has been helping a lot. So it's been helping me distance myself from a lot of the like fear mongering and the anxiety that's in the world right now. And I definitely recommend finding some way for yourself to do the same. Whatever you can do to separate yourself from the negativity that's happening. And I'm not saying distance yourself to the point of ignorance. I'm saying distance yourself to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself grounded. Because energy that is fear-based and ego-based and material-based is addictive, highly addictive. So, you know, it's okay to be afraid, because you're gonna feel it right now. But try your hardest to keep yourself grounded and keep yourself... Hold the reminder that this is gonna come out better. Remind yourself you're gonna come out better. All right, I'm gonna shuffle a little bit more. We have the Page of Wands fall, King of Coins. Alrighty. Two of Wands. Let me get this. Oh. So, you know, this Libra and full moon in Libra energy is, I'm excited. I think really good things are going to come about, and it's so funny. Okay, so look at this. We have, I'm going to figure out the best way to show it to you guys. I have them all laid out. In every card, bam, 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 bam. In every card, there's this balance, right? These pillars of strength, of security, of balance. In every card that came out, we have that duality on either side of the card. So that Libra energy, she's going to shine strong. And I think it's going to be really beneficial for us to gain some really good insight. We have both the Page of Wands and the Page of Coins. They are telling me that this is just going to be a really insightful time where you can really find the best information from within yourself creatively. This is a very intuitively heavy time and a very creative time. So anything you can do to write or paint, I'm a huge fan of tactile painting. So, or any kind of art that really includes the hands and feeling things. I feel like this kind of energy is very playful and youthful, and we get that a lot with the Page of Wands and the Page of Coins. Both are like youthful, creative energy. And in a lot of tarot, they indicate messages coming through the mail. So something that's been taking a moment to come to you, messages coming through also through fast ways. So it's messages coming in really fast, and then other things coming in that you've been waiting for these answers for a very, very long time. The Two of Wands. I really love this card, especially in this deck. This is the Tarot of Dreams, by the way. It's really beautiful. It's like the first deck that I connected with and just really bonded with, and I use it the most out of all of them. But the Two of Wands in this deck is very much so brings me back to the Matrix when Morpheus is offering Neo the red pill or the blue pill. And that is so the energy right now. We're, a lot of us are taking the red pill and a lot of us are taking the blue pill. So, you have to decide, which way you're going to go. Are you going to live in fear and continue to live a life of pain and suffering? Or are you going to move forward and ascend and see that you have everything you've ever needed, and your life, and you are so full of love, more love than you have ever felt before? Are you going to let that in, or are you going to go the fear-based route? I mean, that's entirely up to you. We have free will. So, that's, it's a choice to make. And I think it all comes down to self-care. I'm a huge, huge self-care advocate. And self-care gets a lot of, it's very easy to tease and make fun of, like, oh yeah, take a bath and do a face mask and whatever. But, hey, Emma, have you had enough water today? Have you eaten a vegetable in the past couple of days? Like, checking in with yourself and seeing how your body actually is feeling. Like, I've had this pain in my side for so long, and I keep laying on the couch and it's not getting better. But, maybe the laying on the couch is what's causing the side pain. So, it's just like actually listening to your body and trying to do what is best for yourself and your physical being. And I think that there comes a point in time when you have to almost re-baby yourself. With the past couple of years, I've really come to the realization that I needed to learn how to parent myself, because I never really got those lessons. So teaching myself self-care has been really helpful for learning how to actually be an adult and parent myself. And I think that focusing on something like that would be really helpful during this time, especially because we're either not working and losing our minds, or we're working and losing our minds. So keep yourself sane, please. The King of Coins. I think he's here to remind us that everything is okay. The King of Coins has everything he needs. He's confident. He's sure of himself. He's strong. He doesn't question his opinions, and he doesn't question his choices. He's confident in them because he took the time necessary in order to make those choices and to come to those opinions and conclusions. So, I think he's here to remind us that this time of slowdown is to really take care of our minds and our bodies in a way that we have not needed to in the past, and that everything is going to be okay. You have everything that you need right now. You just have to utilize the things that you have in a different way. And this is not something that the human race has not seen before. Many times we have been torn down and rebuilt. So trust in your fellow man, and trust in your community, and trust in yourself, and trust in spirit. Everything is going to be okay. And I think that this Libra full moon is really going to bring in a lot of information and a lot of good things that we have been needing to see. I hope you all enjoy this video. This is my first YouTube video, so we'll see how it goes. I hope to keep doing them, especially while I have the time. Normally, I do my readings for people and take on clients as well as working a full-time job. So right now, I am blessed with the time for you, and I am over the moon about it. Once I accepted that I have this time and that I can utilize this time for others, it just opened a whole new door for me. So please, I'm here if you need me. I do private readings, and hopefully I'll still be doing some more YouTube. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email or private message. Honestly, I'm fluid to it all. So I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the full moon in Libra.